Hi everyone, I'm Russ Lande, and welcome to GM Junior Scouting's first daily news flash. It's Wednesday, September 14th, and I want to give sort of a quick look back on Week 1 as we get prepared for Week 2. Obviously, Case Keenum did not play well for the Rams, and there's a lot of buzz out there in the media that they should immediately put Jared Goff into the starting lineup, let him take his lumps because they'll be better for next year. And I got to tell you, if this was Jeff Fisher or Les Snead coming out and saying this publicly, that's fine, and I could understand people saying, well, time to do that. But until they say that, trust me, no one in the media knows better than Jeff Fisher and Les Snead if Jared Goff is mentally ready to be the quarterback of the Los Angeles Rams. It's not just about how well a kid played in college and how well he did on the Wonderlic and in his interviews to tell you if he's ready to handle the ups and downs, the emotional roller coaster of being an NFL starter. Because trust me, when you get a quarterback who goes into the league and gets thrown in too soon, and he mentally cannot handle the failure, if you crush his confidence, he can often be destroyed for good. So unless you're sitting in those meetings and dealing with Jared Goff every day, watching film, watching him practice, you do not have a feel for how good he is and how ready he is to play in the NFL. So to me, making a statement like that is a risky and sometimes idiotic thing to do, because, trust me, the teams know when a young man is ready to step into the lineup. It's always important after Week 1, when everybody is proclaiming their team is dead or their team is a Super Bowl contender, to take a deep breath and realize that most of what goes on in Week 1, there are little things that matter, but hold on. Let's hold our horses. But 3 things, at least to me, are something that you got to pay attention to for the next few weeks because they are alarming right off the bat. I think the Indianapolis Colts, you have to be concerned. Andrew Luck plays a very strong game, avoids the mistakes which have become sort of a tendency of his of forcing the ball, puts up 4 touchdowns, over 30 points, and they lose the game. And everybody can point to time management. But let's also be realistic. They do not have a great offensive line. They do not have much defensively, especially at established pass rushers. So how are they going to do when they go up against the better all-around teams? I really think the Colts could be in for a long season, something to keep an eye on the next few weeks. The Buffalo Bills have to be very concerned. Tyrod Taylor last year really was a shocking player in his ability to create something when things went sideways within a play. Well, first game against Baltimore, who really, Terrell Suggs, great player, downward side of his career. Elvis Dumervil didn't line up. Who are their playmakers on that defensive front 7? There aren't many elite guys. Yet Tyrod Taylor really struggled to move that offense consistently. If that happens throughout the year, I think you're going to see Buffalo lose out and really be in that pick 4 to 6 again, which is not where you want to be. And the Los Angeles Rams. I know I mentioned him with Jared Goff, but I have to be concerned about the whole franchise there. You look at that offensive line, I don't see a cohesive unit. You look at their offense as a whole. Besides Todd Gurley, what young player would you be excited to put on your roster to make plays from that offense? To me, there's none. Even Tavon Austin, who is a dynamic return guy, is really sort of a chess piece on offense. You can't make him a full-time starter. He's not an 80-catch or a 70-catch guy who's going to change games regularly. You have to maneuver him to find a place to make him productive. I'm very scared with that offense. On defense, yes, there's no doubt that Aaron Donald is an impact player. I want to see Robert Quinn be consistent game to game. Michael Brockers is a powerful guy, but he's not a playmaker. So where are they going to make plays on defense besides Aaron Donald and Robert Quinn's flashes? I was very concerned about how that defense played against, to me, a pretty vanilla San Francisco 49ers offense. And third, let's look at some of the things from Week 1 that may have been overlooked. Obviously, everyone is talking about Keenan Allen, the devastating knee injury he suffered for San Diego, and how much it's going to affect them going forward this year. And I have no doubt it will. But let's also give credit to John Spanos, Tom Telesco, and Kevin Kelly, their head lead scouts. They did a great job of identifying players for this team. Keenan Allen's a great example. 3rd-round pick, comes off a knee injury, entering the draft as a junior, runs in the 4.7s, has turned out to be a dynamic football player in the NFL, a top 10 NFL receiver. They've got some young talent on this team. They've done a great job of bringing that in. Whether or not their coach can coach that team to a winning record, that's another story. But let's remember, they've done a really good job of stocking that fridge with, in my opinion, some really good talent. Jameis Winston, to me, this first game of the 2016 season, he showed me a lot. a lot of young quarterbacks, when they make that big mistake early in the game, they constantly, on those next 2 or 3 possessions, are trying to overcome that mistake and prove that they're not a bad quarterback. Well, Winston didn't do that. Winston came back, and every play, he took what he could get. He made the right throws, made great decisions. He looked like a 10-year veteran to me. He really proved to me, at least so far this season, he's made a big stride from last year and could be on the verge of joining the top quarterbacks in the NFL and proving me wrong. I did not think that Jameis was going to make it in the NFL. I thought he would be a mistake-prone quarterback in the NFL. So far this year, he looks like he may be taking the stride. And the other thing I really got to be concerned about, the thing that jumped out to me, it wasn't a big story, but the Atlanta Falcons. Wow, I'm just worried that that team can win more than 2 or 3 games this year. Yes, they have Matt Ryan, who's a solid quarterback, and Julio Jones, who's dynamic as a receiver. But to me, offensive line is below average. Their other offensive weapons are players that can play in different roles, like Tevin Coleman, but I don't see dynamic guys. I don't see a weapon at tight end. And defensively, I want to see guys who can get to the quarterback. Vic Beasley has been a no-show so far in his career. I want to see some guys who can make plays. I really think the Falcons could be in serious trouble and in danger of getting a top 5 pick again, and unfortunately that would likely lead to cleaning house in their front office. This has been Russ Lande with today's Newsflash. Check back in tomorrow when we'll be talking about more of what's going on within the NFL.